Super Bowl.
So
Sleepy is not what I am. I am caffeinated. I got amped
I would say
chemically for
pregnant,
this.
maybe is
Yeah,
the
possibly.
is,
Yeah.
is the frame I
with
got from that performance.
Uh,
with meaning and also literal human life.
yes.
All of
Yes,
these things.
yes,
So
I was a
absolutely.
do we have to start with complaints? Like I personally don't want to start with complaints. Even as a
Mhm.
defensive back, I thought that call was iffy, but I still would rather talk about the game and not complain
Mhm.
about referees. I
Mhm.
mean, it's been said. Can we not talk about it now?
I totally will vouch for your ability to do that. I will not defend you from any Philadelphia natives who come
Mhm.
crashing into your square to murder you as you decide to not talk about the refs.
I mean, I'm sure they've gotten plenty of it. So Patrick Mahomes, he can run with one leg. He's incredible. Jalen Hurts also really impressive. That was one thing that I was thinking. It was really terrible for him not to get an opportunity to have some historic legendary drive because he had a legendary drive the series before. I think
Mhm.
that's the most frustrating part about the bad call. I'm not an Eagles fan, so I'm happy that I was right, even though I probably wouldn't have been had they not made that bad call. Maybe I would have. But anyway, robbing Jalen Hurts of that opportunity kind of sucks because like
Yes.
he was. I don't want to get too hyperbolic, but he was great
The
in the course of this
the
game.
Bill, it felt like the only person who could stop Jalen Hurts was Jalen Hurts
That's
himself.
that's the thing I keep coming back to is like this has to be the most incredible performance I've ever seen where someone almost literally shot themselves in the foot and handed the other team 7 points in the
The
process.
fumble, yeah. That fumble
Incredible.
was it was so the fumble was like so uncharacteristic that I'd almost forgotten about it. When the Chiefs
Hmm.
took their first second half lead, I was like, how the hell are the Chiefs winning? They be getting their asses kicked. And I was like, oh yeah, Jalen Hurts just like
Just
randomly
handed
gave
them seven
just gave the
points.
other team a touchdown. Bolton
He
scooping
was
score.
Yes.
he was incredible in this game, not just as a runner, of course, but like inch perfect throws. Like he's throwing corners against cover two, and he's putting it like in a 6-inch box. You almost hit Quez Watkins on that long touchdown that Quez Watkins dropped. Hit AJ Brown. Like my whole lead for this game for about 3 quarters was this is the future of football. It's Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense. And now I kind of got to throw that out the window, and I feel bad because that's
Wait,
not Jalen Hurts' fault.
Yeah.
Bill. I love the perspective of someone who's writing his column and has to
Oh
like
yeah,
make a deadline and is bullshitting now. Can I say that? Sorry, is BSing now
thank you.
with us instead of doing that. Alabaster, I don't know if he needs to throw away that lead. I think that Bill. Like the result does not seem to contradict the logic of your
Ah,
of your theory there. I mean, this game was mostly Jalen Hurts being unstoppable and also having hands on his butt cheeks as he went off, yeah,
we
in
have
that QB sneaky sort of way.
we have trust the process, Pablo, in full effect here. The results don't matter. It's all about what happens until you get there. That's what
Uh,
Pablo's off to.
Correct.
We have a producer interjection that we're going to get to now.
I feel like I should probably add a question here, add some structure, and I think there's a
Sure.
lot of angles we should go through. But the first one, to your point before, Bill, do you guys, all of you, feel like the better team won this game? It was a great Super Bowl. Do you think the better team won?
I mean, I think we all accepted that the Eagles were more talented top to bottom, but Patrick Mahomes makes up the difference. And they're like, I don't think either team I would have been disappointed had they won. I'm not sure that Jalen Hurts would have led that game-winning drive. I have no reason to believe that he wouldn't have, given what he had done before, or a game-tying drive. But I don't feel like the Chiefs didn't deserve to win. But I mean, I guess I get your point. The Eagles certainly seem like the better team, with the exception. I guess, yeah, you're right. The Jalen Hurts fumble was like a weird play. That Jalen
Yep.
Hurts fumble doesn't work or doesn't happen. The Eagles, I think, probably have a bigger cushion, and this game isn't as close.
Hmm. I feel like it was within the margin of error, right? Like it wasn't as if one team was clearly better than the other. We saw a couple mistakes from both teams. Chiefs missing that field goal that Andy Reid went for. We got a Super Bowl doink that people made money on in Las Vegas incredibly somehow. What a world we live in
You can't call it
2023.
you can't call it going for a field goal. It's not going for it when you kick a field goal. That was the most disappointing thing, and this is like Andy Reid just got out aggressive, which we all expected
Right.
by Nick Sirianni, who is just like Alabaster called this last week. Nick Sirianni was going to use this game to go from like funny to annoying. He kind of did. Like crying at the national anthem, that's fine, emotional, whatever. And then him like doing the wave to the like, I guess it's fun, whatever, to the Chiefs players on that play under review. And Jalen Hurts is like the adult in the room, like, come on, we're in the Super Bowl, put your bleeping arm down, and then you're wrong on top of it.
Everything you're saying leads me to believe that the better team tonight did not actually win. I'm sorry. The Sirianni stuff aside, like if we do not count the Jalen Hurts fumble against Jalen Hurts as a quality that he has, right? Like that's what we're really suggesting. Like this was a fluke as opposed to a thing that he has trouble with consistently. And then you have the call at the end that was that flag, which took away his ability to respond. And then you have the way the Eagles strategically approached how to go for it and be, as Bill had also predicted and projected last week, to just be so much more aggressive than the guy we had considered the aggressive guy. It was an ideal game plan that got undone by factors beyond their control, is what it felt like in the end to me.
Well,
sorry, Kansas City.
Well, like sort of. Like, yes, you can control Jalen Hurts fumbling the ball off his foot and having it go for a touchdown. That's bad luck, of course. You can't control getting, I would say, like a D plus, C minus level bad call on the final possession of the game. I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit, but like Domonique said, I'm trying to honor him in this moment and not talk about it too much. But you can control how you play defense in the red zone, right? And I certainly saw plenty of plays where this Eagles defense, which was supposed to be incredible, we had all the numbers on them coming into this game, how great the pass rush is. Patrick Mahomes even injured his ankle for y'all at the end of the first half. It should have been time to close up shop in the second half of that game. And what happened? The Chiefs moved the ball over and over and over again and got guys wide open in the red zone for touchdowns.
It was like they didn't know you could go in motion.
No!
Every time the Chiefs went in motion, the Eagles' defensive backs just were like dumbfounded. And they're like, oh, you can go in motion and then go back the other way?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. Wide open touchdown after wide open touchdown. Yeah.
You know what this was like? You know what it was like? It was like playing Madden with someone online who's way better than you at Madden, and they know like stuff that you don't know how to stop.
Oh yeah.
And you just get.
I'm just asking. All I'm doing is asking Madden, and this guy is actually like reading defenses.
Yes, absolutely infuriating to see. And it's not like this is some new tactic from the Chiefs. It's not like this is some secret. You know, we talked about the jet sweep being a possibility for the Chiefs by the goal line in this game. They scored 3 touchdowns on it against the 49ers earlier this season. And all that stuff is just playing off the threat of the jet sweep. The Eagles are ready for it, but they weren't ready for any of the counter punches off of that. And if you're a team that maybe wants to hire Jonathan Gannon, the defensive coordinator of the Eagles, to be your head coach, the guy who has a play sheet the size of like a 3x5 index card, I wouldn't be too thrilled about what I saw in this football game.
Oh, is the punter on the stage? I'm sorry. It looks like the punter's on the stage too. What are the rules on who gets to be on the stage? There's only 5 players on stage.
Eagles punter or Chiefs punter?
Well, it'd be really awesome if it was the Eagles punter. I think it's the Chiefs punter.
Kevin Hart has made his way onto the dais somehow, finally.
Harrison Butker? It might be Butker. I guess it could be Butker.
Speaking of special teams, can we talk about the Gronk?
No, it's not even Butker.
That was terrible.
Did it not go through? Am I the only person who thought that?
Not only did it not feel like it went through, it was not presented in a way that felt live at all, undercutting the entire premise of what was happening to me. But Alabaster obviously is trying to tell me that I digress.
Yes.
First of all, I want to say, Tommy Townsend, Chiefs punter, all pro, worth noting. But second of all, I want to read you a tweet from Ed Werder. The Chiefs in the second half. 0 penalties, 0 turnovers, 0 punts, 0 sacks allowed, 1 incompletion. There are a lot of questions that come off of that. Is like, what changed at halftime? And when you think about that, is that one of the greatest halves of football you've ever seen? Because that game turned on a dime where the Eagles looked unstoppable.
Why the hell do the Chiefs need an all-pro punter?
By the way, it did feel like a big difference to account for those statistics that Alabaster just read. The one completion is nuts. It's simply that the Chiefs got the ball
Yes,
a
that's the big
lot
thing.
more than they got in the first half.
I noticed in the second half too. It seemed like we were very excited, or at least I was, about the cat and mouse game of the coaching adjustments. And I saw the Chiefs they brought out a couple blitzes in the second half that they didn't in the first half at opportune times that worked. And then they came back the very next series and tried to blitz again. And the Eagles nah, we got something for that. Converted with I think 11-yard pass to AJ Brown, and then followed it up again, attacking cover 3 to a deep pass to who was it over there?
Devontae.
Yeah, Devontae Smith. So yeah, I mean, I guess it has to do with the coaching. You adjusted. It seemed like they were doing a lot more short passes in the second half. The Chiefs were, at least. They were trying to get rid of it more quickly. The same way they started the game, so they weren't doing screens nearly as much. They were just getting it out of Patrick's hands, letting him make these quick decisions, attacking these soft zones, and then when they took away everything, guess what? Patrick can still run.
Okay, I got a question. We saw Patrick Mahomes suffer what appeared to be a serious re-aggravation of his ankle injury just before halftime. He came out, second half of that game, looked like the ankle was honestly even better than it was during the first half. What happened at halftime?
Not the only false flag operation in this game, Bill.
Really? What was it?
Well, the flag that was called at the end, that was a BS penalty. No, it is. I don't know what to make of it. Domonique is our resident guy who has probably had painkillers injected into him in the course of a football game. It is disconcerting and inexplicable. It is the Travis Kelce getting open of health issues.
Yes.
Why is it that Mahomes is just always fine?
Oh, surprise, guys. Breaking news. Patrick Mahomes wins Super Bowl MVP. Isn't he the first person to win regular season MVP and also win the Super Bowl in 9 tries or something? I feel like that was something that I saw. Yeah, that's impressive. Patrick Mahomes breaking all the rules. I have to say, as much as I really wanted Jalen Hurts to succeed in this game, I think we talked about this last week. Something about the retirement of Tom Brady and the scoring title of LeBron James made me appreciate or acknowledge the fact that we really want to watch greatness. And it's Patrick Mahomes putting another championship on his mantle sets us up for a long-term experience that I think is going to be a lot better than breaking it up with a couple losses to one bad quarterback and one really good quarterback. Jalen Hurts is a really good one, obviously.
Domonique is a greatness fetishist. He established this last week.
Woo.
He is here for the 1% of the 1%, extending their oligarchic rule over a sport.
Okay.
Provocative.
I have a question for you guys. Given what we saw tonight, if I told you one of these two teams makes it back to the Super Bowl next year, which of the two teams do you think it is?
I would say the Eagles. I would say the Eagles left me bullish simply because
So you're saying that the team that's been in every AFC Championship game since Patrick Mahomes started playing, that's the team, and they've only not gone to one of those. Oh no, I guess they lost. Yeah, they lost to the Patriots once, and then they lost last year. Yeah,
I'm gonna do the thing where I say the NFC is easiest, while also acknowledging that this team has done this half dozen times.
That's a good thing. That's a smart thing. The NFC is easiest, and that team is loaded. But the Chiefs, the thing about the Chiefs is this, at least in my view, before this season started, even though I picked them to win the Super Bowl, I also recognize that this was their rebuilding year. This was the year when they were supposed to struggle. This was the year when they were moving on, where some of the contracts were going to be in flux, where they had a ton of rookies playing on defense. This was the year to get them if you were going to get them. They're only going to get better going forward until they have to pay somebody else a big contract, and they have to figure it out from there. But their window, as long as Patrick continued to produce without Tyreek Hill, and they're going to address that. They're going to come out with somebody who's better than the receiver that they have right now. Juju Smith-Schuster was the answer. They're who are we going to get the balls through in the second half? He just kept throwing it to Juju. And Juju's a great football player, but he's not someone that defenses are schemed up and concerned about him breaking their defense the way we did Tyreek Hill. they're going to find somebody in the draft that I think can run really fast and catch balls.
What's up, Alabaster?
Guys, I got a bunch of questions coming off of this, but the first one I want to continue on Mahomes for a little bit because 2-1 in the Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowl MVPs sounds a lot better than 1-2 with 1 Super Bowl MVP and losing to Jalen Hurts and Tom Brady. And the obvious question here is his path to catching Brady open? But more to your point, Domonique, are we at like the pinnacle of this, or can this continue to get better? Because he's starting to play football at a level of consistency that we've almost never seen from a young quarterback. What's the ceiling of this team as like a dynasty? And for Mahomes as a player, can it possibly get better from here?
Of course it can. I mean, we're talking about a team that like Dominique said, this was their rebuilding year. This was a team that had, I think they're like the 7th youngest team in football altogether. It's not like the Eagles where, of course, incredibly talented on both sides of the football, but Jalen Hurts is about to go from being on a rookie contract to making $45 or $50 million a year. Their roster is going to change in the years to come. And we've seen how that's affected teams in the past. Carson Wentz never won a playoff game after getting off his rookie deal. Russell Wilson, 2 Super Bowls on his first 3 years on his rookie deal, gets an extension, does not make it back to the Super Bowl at this point over the ensuing 8 or 9 seasons. Patrick Mahomes, of course, made it on his rookie deal, is now back on that enormous second deal, and has now won a Super Bowl. The Chiefs are not in a position where you look at their roster in 2023 and think, okay, they're going to have to cut back. They're going to have to let some key players go. They might choose to let someone like a Orlando Brown leave if they don't want to sign him, but they can add pieces to this roster. That secondary, which was basically all rookies or young players and Justin Reed, is going to get better next year. They might get more out of their running game and more out of their defense in 2023 than they did in 2022. And that's really scary given that Mahomes, no reason to think Mahomes is going to get worse as a quarterback in a vacuum either.
He's good. Maybe he'll even be healthy next year, guys.
That's the scary part. All jokes aside, that's the scary part. I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think we're definitely in. We knew it already that we were kind of in the Kansas City Chiefs era of football. We had passed it, I think, from Tom Brady and the Patriots to the Chiefs as the dominant force. Whether they win every championship or not, or end up winning as many as the Patriots did, they are going to be the measuring stick in large part because Patrick Mahomes, and especially since they were able to convert to a new style of football and still be just as effective, maybe even more effective in some ways. So yeah, he's special. They're special, and he even overcame an ankle. He overcame Andy Reid's like conservative nature, trying to punt and kick at every opportunity.
Well, this is the former punt pass kick champion. Of course, Andy Reid's going to punt and kick. You should know better.
And Andy Reid coaching like he's a Greg Gutfeld fan. Real conservative tonight.
Oh gosh. One of my friends just texted me, "Where are you recording from?"
You're recording from Aaron Rodgers' 4-day blackout, if I'm not mistaken.
Bill got to the joke before me.
And I will decide whether I come back to this show or not after I give it some long, hard thought and maybe some hard drugs. Whatever. Soft
your body,
soft drugs.
It only simulates DMT. You're not doing DMT. It simulates DMT. That's a key distinction that we learned.
I mean, it's probably just cheaper just to get some. Never mind. Go ahead, Alabaster.
So, but before we move on from Mahomes, just want to go around the horn on this one. Can he catch Brady?
He's the greatest quarterback ever.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all you wanted. You wanted some good hot take clickbait.
We're all thinking it.
He's the best quarterback ever. Quite possibly the best point guard in the history of the NBA and the sexiest man alive. You happy?
Domonique, you're asking a guy in Domonique who declared Dak Prescott better than Tom Brady 2 years ago.
He was.
I simply want to point out, for all of the dominance that we're talking about, and yes, this is does it feel dynastic? Yes. I'll also point out that the Chiefs won their divisional round game over the Jaguars by 1 score. They beat the Bengals in the conference championships by 3 points, and they needed that false flag operation at the end here to win by 3. So it's super impressive. But within the context of these games, it's not
I don't know.
exactly like
I
a
would-
Goliath just trouncing everyone.
I'm sorry to push back. I'm also sorry to jump in because I know Bill is probably going to say similar things, but you can go through the Patriots dynasty and go through Brady's successes and point out a lot of different things. Maybe even the kickoff to the dynasty was a fumble that wasn't a fumble. Like it's throughout all of these, and then a team deciding to run the ball or deciding to throw the ball when most people say you should run the ball, and then a team deciding to throw the ball when you're down by a bunch of points and fumble, or when you're up by a bunch of points and fumbling and leading to a comeback. So, like, yeah, for it to happen, there's going to have to be a lot of luck. For the Patriots to have what they had happen, had to be a lot of luck in the process. But it really helps when you have a quarterback who's really good.
There's a very common Kyle Shanahan thread going through these Super Bowl dynasties on the other side of the football.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I mean, like, I don't think the question is Mahomes' ability or what he can do. Like, you don't need to see Patrick Mahomes do it for 6 more years to know he's the most talented quarterback
Yes.
who has ever
yes.
played the game of football. The question is just how long will he be able to do it for? Like, we're blessed to be in the prime of that guy's career, but like what makes Tom Brady is the fact that he did it into his early 40s, and that is incredibly difficult to do. So, like, we're not going to know that for another decade. I feel like as much as we're concerned about what's going to happen in the legacy and everything, like, let's just enjoy what we have right now, which is
Don't be that guy.
the best.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
The
We're done.
four unidentified flying objects just added a fifth to its list. Oh no, Bill's back.
He's back. He's
Oh,
back.
no.
I thought you
You're-
got shot down like a
You-
UFO.
Oh,
as
no.
soon as you said it, enjoy what you got, we lost you because nobody wants to enjoy what they got. Go get some more.
That's fair. That's
I mean,
fair.
I think
That's fair.
the one of the differences is the like contract situation that Tom Brady continued to like take under market value, and possibly the best defensive coach in the history of football was his head coach. These are all things that are different for Patrick Mahomes, where his championships are going to be largely based on the offense's accomplishments or the offensive like talent. And I sure as hell hope he don't take any more discounts than he's already taken. Get that money. Really
Domonique,
good. Get that money.
Domonique, the tension between Dominique's greatness fetishism and his instinct to represent labor and star players.
No,
But
there's no
speaking-
tension.
speaking
There's
of labor,
there's no
what-
tension there.
Speaking of labor, what did Rihanna start her set with tonight?
I don't know.
What I forget. What was it? Alabaster, can you put that out there for us?
I know she
That was-
ended it with "Run This Town."
It was I believe it was a cautionary tale about whether someone is possessing enough currency.
Blank
for someone
blank better
else's
have my
taste.
money.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
So I do.
Hold
I
on,
do
hold
have a
on,
lot of
hold on,
Rihanna
hold on,
questions
hold on, hold on.
later.
Before we get to Rihanna questions, I said that there is no tension between getting as much money as you can and greatness. I just wanted to be specific about that. It's like,
Please.
no, you then require, once you start getting as much money as you can, it's now time for the general manager to draft well. It's not your responsibility to take a pay cut to make their jobs easier. So no, you can be great and get paid also. All right, Riri.
No, so
Bad
before
girl.
we get to Rihanna, we'll get to Rihanna, but I want to ask the Eagle side of it, which is there are a few things we got to get to. We got to get to the Jalen Hurts of it all. We have to get to the call that decided the game with that Eagles defense. But before we get to that, the one thing did the Eagles get too conservative in the second half, taking it all the way to the end of the shot clock on every single play, continuing to run the ball and have these long drives? Would you have liked them to see, once they gave up the lead, to play slightly more aggressive with Jalen Hurts?
Not especially. I mean, I felt like they were still pretty good on offense. The Chiefs still, like Domonique said, dial up a couple of like exotic pressures and came up with a couple stops. But I thought Jalen Hurts was playing phenomenal football. I thought they were running the ball not incredibly well, but I think they were running the ball like selectively well in the right situations. They were setting themselves up for, manageable third downs, manageable fourth downs. Like I felt like this was a team with the Chiefs where there were opportunities to be had in that offense in the second half of that game. So I'm not. I want to go back and watch it again. Like, I want to go back and take a second look, but I don't think the offense was the problem with this game. They scored 35 points. Like
Right.
the issue here is that the defense, even allowing for the defensive touchdown, could not come up with a stop in what was basically a perfect second half of football for the Chiefs offense.
So can I ask this question of you guys? Because I don't understand fully why the Eagles' defensive front, which had been unparalleled in terms of its depth and its ability to get to the quarterback, was so nullified in the second half. Why? Why did that happen?
Seemed like a good amount of quick passes, and also they were quite aware of it in the first half. So I think the fact that they threw a bunch of screens and they were running at like non-run times, I think a lot of that keeps the defense off balance. And then you're just like, well, they're just gonna screen us again. And then if they don't screen you, they throw a quick out. But I did want to like mention something about the offensive question. I thought the Eagles' offense was good, with the exception of like one series they went 3 and out, and then they had a line drive ass punt that got returned to the 5-yard line. Like, that's what it came down to me, honestly. Or I can't say that's what it came down to, but that is a bigger impact on the game to me than the Eagles' offense, like milking the play clock.
Yeah, I think it was a combination of things. The defense, just Patrick Mahomes got the ball out quick. He moved effectively in the pocket, which took away some of those pass rushes. I think the Eagles were a little mesmerized with Kelsey, frankly, and so I think that's why we saw so much stuff to Juju in the second half of the game, is that they were clearing out stuff for Juju, and I think they were very quick laterally. A lot of stuff in this game was to the flat. It was outside runs. It was stuff away from that core of the run of the Eagles defense, and forcing their linebackers to get in coverage and move, I felt like was a very reasonable game plan. And by the end of the game, the Eagles defense, which didn't play much in the first half, kind of gassed out late in the second half of this football game.
Also, they didn't know that you could go in motion in one direction and then go back out in another direction. Yes. They believe that in the red zone, once you declare, you got to keep going across the field. Only. Yes.
One way only. I feel like we almost got an interject. Here we go. Alabaster, please.
Well, I didn't want to cut you off, but I would like to note that the Eagles ran the ball 32 times for 115 yards. So they're under 4 yards a carry. The Chiefs ran the ball much more effectively. So that's why I thought that maybe it was too much on that aspect of their offense. But next question I do want to ask is about Jalen Hurts. And because a lot of people this year, when he was the front runner for MVP for most of the season, thought that you couldn't separate Jalen Hurts from the offense. Most talented team. This quarterback is growing incredibly quickly, but how good is he really? Did your opinion of Jalen Hurts change during this game? Because mine did. I thought he was incredible, and it was like seeing him perform that way on the biggest stage. What did that do for you guys?
It felt Bill. I'll just start by saying it felt like the most impressive game Jalen Hurts has played.
Yeah,
and I think his record on 3rd and 4th downs in this game, I don't know what it is exactly, but 15 rushes, 70 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground, a Super Bowl record. Plus all the stuff he was doing with deep passes when he needed to, it felt like a transcendent performance, objectively speaking.
Can we also, just a quick question before I get to my Hurts commentary? Do you think the NFL will, because of this penalty, give the Eagles one more year with the push sneak as like a little bit of an apology? Like, we screwed that one up, but you can still use your cheat code on 4th down for another year.
You can use your Game Shark. Yeah, you can use Game Shark when you play football. We're not going to ban that yet and feel bad about taking it away from you.
Yeah, I put a lot of numbers in my column about Hurts struggling, especially in situations where he wasn't playing within the structure of the offense. When he was on the move, after holding the ball for 4 seconds, he was like one of the worst quarterbacks in football in those spots this year. And in this game, he was not that guy. He had a couple of plays where he threw the ball away late where he was scrambling, which is fine, but he protected the football, he made smart decisions, and when he threw the ball, his passes were not just, they were not just close. They were hitting guys in the fingertips on plays where he had to hit guys in the fingertips for those throws to be completions. I felt like this was one of his best games as a passer on the biggest possible stage. Admittedly, Chiefs pass defense not especially good, but I still felt like Hurts was, transcending that within this game.
That 3rd and 14 to Goddard, over their best cornerback in cover 2, just in that hole. How do I sound? Do I sound a lot better, guys? I feel like I sound a lot better. Guess what I did? I plugged the microphone in for the first time the whole show.
You're the worst.
That's how you get better audio. You plug the microphone in and don't use the computer mic. Yeah. So it was just for decoration earlier, but now actually serves a function.
That's like me.
I'm sure there's there you go. I was looking for the right in-game comparison for was only for decoration but served the function, but I couldn't think of it because I'm tired.
Like male nipples.
Oh, hey, you doing it?
Ooh.
Okay? I'm about to get us in trouble. Never mind.
It's all right. It's decorative
It's live.
at this point.
It's live. We got
Jalen Hurts.
It's science.
Jalen Hurts, really good at football, guys. I don't know if you know this, but he threw for 304 yards, a touchdown, ran for 70 yards and a touchdown, only 10 incompletions and 15 rushes, and he's gonna get paid a lot of money this offseason. I don't know.
What else could
Eagles,
outside of the fumble?
EAG,
Outside of the fumble,
yes.
what else could he have done to win this football game for the team? The fumble's bad. But
talk to the secondary about what to do when people go in motion one direction and they come back the other way. I just can't believe that they did that twice in the second half and scored touchdowns on both of them. I just can't.
And the play to Juju, the holding penalty was built off that too. It was a wheel off that.
It was a little pivot wheel action. What's up, Alabaster? We answered all your questions twice.
I got two more.
Just to be fair. Hopefully it's not a repeat because we answered all of them twice already.
How do you think Tyreek Hill felt watching that game?
Do you think Tyreek Hill was watching the game? I assumed he was podcasting, to be honest with you.
Oh man, how big was the deal that he signed in Miami? It was enormous.
Tyreek
was it 5/125?
He probably
Tyreek was
in
busy
live anyway.
Tyreek was busy talking trash to the actor playing Tua in that Jalen Hurts cutscene that we got at the beginning of the game.
Okay, well,
there are a lot of cutscenes in this, by the way.
It's trying to get cinematic, baby. Get cinematic.
We can't fast forward through this, can we? No, we have to watch.
It's not a video
Cooper
game.
Narrate
it's not a video game, Pablo. You can't just fast forward through the cutscenes.
I would have liked that option.
I've already seen this one though.
Tough hair day for Bradley Cooper. But my follow-up is we just saw this team. We just saw this team score 38 points in the Super Bowl and seamlessly move on without Tyreek Hill. How you talked about how this was their rebuilding year. The second question on that is, and this is impossible to answer, but I wonder what you guys think, is it plug and play with Mahomes at this point? Because they had another Hall of Famer in their offense, one of the greatest tight ends ever in Travis Kelce. And he has to be going towards the golden years of his career. Is it plug and play? Is he replaceable? What's replaceable in this offense? It's just Mahomes and anyone can score 38 points against the best defense in the NFL in the Super Bowl?
Well, you can't have 4 backup linemen. We discovered that in the Bucs game. If you give Mahomes 4 backup linemen, you're in trouble. But if you can have a healthy offensive line and like some competent receivers around Kelce, then it works. Like the issue is that it wasn't that they replaced Hill with nobody. It was that they replaced an A or an A+ receiver with like 4 B- or a couple B- and a couple C-. And they always had options in this game. It wasn't about Sky Moore being a dominant one-on-one receiver, but the threat of Sky Moore coming in motion combined with a great quarterback and a great play caller created a wide open touchdown. Kadarius Toney's not a great receiver at this point of his career, but same thing, that threat created the opportunities. Juju is not a great receiver, but playing with Kelce and having the threat of Kelce and not being unafraid to work in the middle of the field and having a unique role, that worked out for him in this spot of the game as well. So I don't think it's like you can just plug in 10 jabronis around Mahomes and you're going to be fine. But I think you do have to have at least some concept of talent, some spread of talent around the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could probably get away with 3 or 4 jabronis as long as you spread them out. You can't put all the jabronis in one position. You got to be able to hide a jabroni or two.
Yep. Mahomes does have a high Vorge value over replacement jabroni. Yes.
I can't wait to actually go back and rewatch this game and pick out all the little things that we missed. But I think for the most part, the biggest takeaway from this game is Patrick Mahomes is just that damn good, and everyone needs to stop all the things that. What?
Hold up. Who is the one who was saying all year you need to have a number 1 wide receiver to win a Super? So when you say everyone, who needs to stop here, Domonique Foxworth?
Me, I don't care. I was just trying to wrap this up in a nice little bow, Bill, so we can go to hell asleep. What the hell's going on? You pulling me out, calling me out, man? I'm trying to wrap this up. 5 more hours after this. Exactly. So I'm trying to wrap this up so you can work for 5 more hours. I got to go to sleep because my alarm goes off at 5 a.m. Bill Barnwell. So yes, I was wrong. I did it all wrong. I'm sorry. I apologize. And is
Thank
that a
you.
good way to wrap it up?
No,
You want to start back over?
Rihanna.
Let's start
Yeah.
back over from the top. Let's see if we
So
can
Rihanna?
answer some Rihanna questions.
Did she live up to the hype for you guys? I thought it was great.
Of course she
I
did.
refuse to hate on Rihanna. You stop it.
It
was amazing. It's the best performance I've ever seen in life.
Just like Patrick Mahomes adjusting to the high ankle sprain, Rihanna comes out pregnant and she's working in the pocket. She's got people going around her. She knew what she was able to do and executed at an extremely high level.
I'd just like to state for the record here that Domonique Foxworth and I do not have proof that she has anything growing inside of her outside of the spirit of one of the greatest artists of our time.
She did show some poise in the pocket though. She did not leave the pocket. She worked from the
100%.
pocket all show
I gotta
long.
admit, ever since Stephen A deleted his tweet about how Beyonce is that much better than Rihanna in a way that revealed that he is more scared of that backlash than any other take he's ever had, I've been a little gun shy to declare my true thoughts about anything related to this topic.
Because your true thoughts are she's great, right?
Her reps. I said she was pregnant, so I'm not out on.
Oh, they did. Okay.
I'm not fooled.
Yeah,
I'm not an idiot.
Absolutely knew that. Yep. I just wanted her to stay suspended above the field for the rest of the game.
Ooh, that's true.
I wanted her to be a rock and jock style goal. Like you should be able to throw a pass to Rihanna and get 25 points. That was a missed opportunity for everybody.
I bet she got great hands. She can probably catch.
Oh, absolutely.
And you saw the Fendi stuff coming out in the middle of the segment. That's smart. That's just building your brand, adding money.
That was impressive.
Imagine if you could do that in the NFL. If you could catch a pass, then halfway as you're running for a touchdown, just pull out something you're advertising.
Nice little compact and
dab it.
Did you guys miss the crypto commercials?
No.
I kind of did.
Really?
You kind of did.
I kind of did. I wanted Matt Damon to tell me that fortune favors the brave one more time.
You know what was kind of sad is all the other beer companies ganging up on Budweiser. It was like, man, you guys can't go at Budweiser straight up and down. You got to get together, try to jump Budweiser.
What is this conservative trickery? Line up to play the game.
I also like how Crown Royal was like, I think we need to expand our demographic in a very deliberate way. Dave Grohl.
Yeah, they definitely are not.
We need to diversify.
I will no longer keep my change in your purple bags.